Well, I think we're almost there. We're getting started. We got 2 minutes. I'm told that you can hear me well. So I'm just going to let everybody sign in. While everybody's signing in, you can see this funny, goofy image of inbound marketing for dental practices, a cartoon image of an umbrella. And I know it's not the most sophisticated design ever, but I thought it was a really great way of showing you all how you can have everything integrated in one place. So PPC, blogs, SEO, your web, your emails, all can be in one space, so you can actually see how the performance is. So this webinar is going to be fantastic. Still got another minute or so to go. Let everybody get kind of signed in. So if you're just signing in now, and I'm talking about this image here about inbound marketing for dental practices, this image is again, not the most robust, sophisticated marketing image, but it really does show how you can have all your marketing put into one space, so you as the business owner can really have a dashboard of the performance of that marketing. And I'm going to show you how to build an inbound marketing strategy, what the difference is, what it means to practices. So again, just letting everybody get signed in. We've got about a minute to go, but I'll let it go 2 minutes. Let me just see real quick. If you hear any background noise, I apologize for that in advance. I'm in a little bit of a noisy space, and I apologize, but I think we're okay. Just letting everybody sign in. Again, just letting everybody sign in. Just if you're getting in there, I'm ready to go, but just want to give it a minute or so because I know some people jump on late. Cool. So I'm just going to give it one more, maybe 30 more seconds, just letting everybody sign in. Again, welcome to Inbound Marketing for Dental Practices. I was just kind of making fun of my own image here, but I really feel this image does justice for, again, integrating all your marketing so that you can have it in one space and really see the performance and measure that ability. And I'm going to go into detail about that. We're going to really learn the foundation here of how to build your inbound marketing system. And then we're also going to look at some of the technology behind what inbound marketing is and see what the difference is between maybe what you're currently doing and how you can develop an inbound marketing strategy. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. If you're jumping in late, don't worry about it. There's so much to talk about. If you have questions, I do have someone on here that's going to read questions and then send them to me because I'm using the whole screen here. So again, welcome to Inbound Marketing for Dental Practices. Again, this image on here is not the most robust image for marketing, but I thought it did a really, really great job of putting all your marketing efforts, PPC, blogs, SEO, social media, web, email, into one space, because that's what inbound is. It's really utilizing all of your marketing in conjunction together and integrating it all together so that you have one place to go and see how it's performing, how to measure the conversions. And I don't just mean leads, I mean actual customers or patients coming into your practice. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to Inbound Marketing for Dental Practices, and I'm going to move forward. So the purpose of this webinar is to provide what inbound marketing means for dental practices. Okay? So we're going to define it, we're going to learn how to get the foundation of it, and we're going to show you how it can perform for you as a dental practice. what the outcome of this webinar, and I want you to pay attention to the word outcome because I'm a very outcome-focused person. The outcome of this webinar is to get more patients to your practice and accepting more treatment. And what does that mean? It doesn't just mean people that are just kind of testing out the free consultations. It means people that are coming in because they've been worked down the buyer journey and they really know what they're walking into. They're walking into a great practice that provides a great solution to their problems. So as we continue on, I want to really clearly define what inbound marketing is. And it's the process of attracting the attention of prospects through content creation, right? Before they are even ready to buy. It's one of the best and most effective ways to convert strangers into customers and promoters of your business. So when you look at this, the key, oops, sorry about that. The key elements here is content creation, the fact that they're perspectives and they're looking for solutions and they're finding the right content in the right places and they're converting from not knowing you at all into actual customers and then promoting your business. So there's a whole funnel here that we're going to go through, and inbound marketing is really about being found. And I'm going to go into more detail about that, but it's really about people looking online, searching for things, or even talking to word of mouth and finding a solution to their problems. And I'm going to show you how to design that. And there's really some key places that you want to be to get started, right? So where do you start? And it's not just buying more content. It's not just buying more systems and tools. But really what I found is I did this course for 16 different dental practices. We invited 16 principal dentists into a room, and we were looking at converting patients. And all of them had the same common interest of like, how do I just make sure more patients are accepting treatment and get rid of the feeling of selling dentistry? So that was really the theme of the course. But what I've realized, I asked one simple question, is how many dental practices are in this room that are operating from a vision of your business? And one dental practice raised their hand. One out of all the participants that were in this course raised their hands. In this course, people paid money to come to it. It was a CPD course. They really wanted to look at, more case acceptance within the practice through the marketing. How do we lead that? And only one practice was able to say, hey, yeah, you know what? I have a vision for my practice, and we operate with that vision. So you might be a business owner, you might be a practice owner, and you might say, yeah, we had a vision when we started, so that's how we got started. But a vision really is something that's going to actually help you hire. It's going to help you choose your vendors. It's going to help you get in line with the people to move your business forward, right? If your vision is a powerful vision that you really stand behind, then your team is going to stand behind, and your patients are going to stand behind, and your marketing is going to bleed this vision in it so that it really attracts the ideal patient. So I know you're like, vision, what does this have to do with actual marketing? It's what you're going to develop some of your content through. It's where you're going to make some clear choices. It's where you're going to draw some lines. So some visions that I made up were enhancing 20,000 lives by 2020, right? This is a very quantifiable goal that you're trying to set for your practice. And one of my most favorite visions of all time is JFK, right? He said, I'm going to put a man on the moon and I'm going to return him home safely in 10 years. So NASA saw the moon as the goal and getting the man back home in 10 years as their goal, and they saw how they can quantify that. So NASA reverse engineer a plan to succeed and accomplish that goal, and they did. And they did that even with JFK passing. Another vision here is delivering confidence to 1,000 new patients by the year 2018. Again, these are made up. These are visions that can really be quantified and can really stand behind a real actual solution to people's problems. I chose the word confidence very specifically because confidence is like money, right? Everybody wants confidence, but we all know that like money, we all want it. We need to know what people want to spend it on. So when people say, hey, I want to be more confident when I have braces, or I need that missing tooth to be replaced because I just want to be more confident, it's really because they want to have the best wedding photo, or they just want to eat apples again, or whatnot. So I chose that word actually very specifically so you can see that wording in your vision is very key, and having a goal and quantifiable. Now Steve Jobs, he said he wanted to put a computer in everybody's hand, and he did with the iPhone. So his wasn't really by the year or whatnot, but that was his vision. So now that you're getting started with a vision, the next step here is context, right? Context is so important. Your patients right now have a context to dentistry. It's something that we've all globally battled with. Who wants to take time out of their day, get some pain, and then pay for it? Absolutely no one. So the context of dentistry is very tough. And through the right content, you can actually help people get over that hurdle. So when your team has the context to marketing or new patient inquiries, and they see it as selling, we want to eliminate that. And you can see how your vision can help remove that from the team by showing them that they have a purpose and we're going to enhance lives, we're going to deliver health and wellness to our patients. They can realize and say, hey, you know what, we can discover the solutions and we can provide that. So this image here is of a glass, and the glass is the context. And what's inside the glass is the content, because if the context is off and it's all about sales and it's all about, we're scared to present treatment, it's going to be tough to deliver the content, right? The content really is so important here, and I'm going to get to more content in a minute, but if the context isn't correct, it's going to be really difficult to deliver the best content. I hope you're all getting that. I might just check in with you right now, make sure everybody can hear me. So just let me know if there's anything that you can't hear, and this has been valuable so far, but I'm going to keep going, but just go ahead and type in the screen and let me know how things are going. But again, the context here is not about sales. It's about providing solutions, solving people's problems. And teams are under a lot of pressure, right? You got a nurse doing reception 1 minute, and then she's doing nursing the next minute. Do all your team members really want to do? Are you providing training to the team? So I'm really trying to highlight right now what kind of pressure your team is up against, because the vision and the context really has to be appropriate. And then you have to have the right people in the right places to deliver an inbound marketing strategy. So what this slide really represents is some key elements that I want you to have so that great, I want to get to this space because this space is where I'm going to really have a real marketing strategy that actually brings in ideal patients. So remember, your team's under a lot of pressure. Reception, nurses, are they doing sales? How do they define it? So 3 key points that will guarantee more case acceptance through your inbound strategy is these 3 right here. The best thing to do, now this is about going from good to great. You might not have a lead person right now. It might develop into that. We work with all practices, all sizes, but we know without a shadow of a doubt when you have someone that really, really wants to own accountability to the patient flow, they're going to want to know what's going on with existing patients and their treatment acceptance and the marketing patients, meaning new patient inquiries coming in. They love owning that space. They really want to communicate with these patients. They really want to get outcomes for them. They're fighting for their patients. Patients are coming in for implants and they want to work with them the best that they can to provide those solutions. So that's number 1. Number 2 is technology. It's not just about automation, but you need support to manage the patient journey. Team members can't handle too many patients on Excel spreadsheets. If you've been on webinars with me before, you know this. Excel spreadsheets do not do justice for you and your team. They don't remind your team when to call. It's left up to a human error. It doesn't mean that they're wrong or bad. It just means it's not effective. So we're looking to go from good to great here. So inbound marketing, as I continue through this webinar, you'll see that you don't even need to have so much tracking going on because a lot of this will do it for you. Now, the next number 3 is training. There's no athlete, there's no gold medalist that doesn't want more training. So if you have team members right now that are yearning for training, give it to them. If they're not yearning for training, give it to them anyway. Training is so important. The best people in the world that doing the best jobs that they can obviously are very open to receiving more training. This isn't just training on conversions. This is training on your marketing. They want to understand it. I've been to a lot of practices, especially in the UK, that people don't really get the difference between business Facebook and your personal Facebook. So that's just one of many different elements that if we just show them the differentiation of that this will help create the best inbound strategy you can have. So we actually provide that kind of training. As I mentioned earlier, we do CPD courses for principal dentists, for team members. So just know that that's always part of who we are as an organization. Now, let's just kind of recap real quickly. We were like, how do we start an inbound marketing strategy? You need a good vision. You have to have the vision. You have to have an engaged team moving your business forward. You need to make sure that the context to what you're trying to achieve is clear, that your team has a good context of dentistry, and that your patients understand what you're trying to do. You're not suggesting X-rays to your patients because you're trying to make money. You're showing them that X-rays are vital to knowing how to do an implant or provide the surgery that we might move forward with. I'm just using an example. So remember, vision, context, and then having the right people in the right places trained well so that you can know that your marketing efforts are doing well. So I can see that I'm being told more people are logging in. Great. Just know that again, we're recapping here. Your vision needs to be clear. Your context to your business needs to be clear. And we're getting the right people in the right places so that we can get to the context. And I went to a dental forum actually last week. This was in Portugal, and met with a lot of different multiple practice owners that really want to get their marketing right. And the question that kept coming in was like, Brian, if you can say one thing about marketing, what is the key element? Excuse me. And I would say it's content. But as you saw in the early few minutes of this webinar, you might want to make sure that all the things are in row before you start developing your content, because that content might not really represent who you are as a practice. So content is so important. And now we're going to really start getting into the nuts and bolts here of inbound marketing and where to put that content. So for me, if you've been on webinars with me before, I'm a huge passionate person about dentistry. I believe dentistry can actually change the face of humanity. I know that might sound crazy, but more patients see dentists than they do their GP. And when you show them and lead them through the health and preventative side of dentistry, it lowers their guard and they start trusting. These two tools right here, this is called the FACS-R. That's all about the oral systemic connection. And the other tool on this side is a healthy mouth baseline. Now these are things that can be branded to your practice. And the healthy mouth baseline is a great in-house marketing tool, but this is like, for me, the essence of dentistry is preventative care. I mean, who wants to lose their teeth when they're 30 years old or 60 years old? This is how we keep people engaged. So hygienists can use the healthy mouth baseline to open up such more dialogue to their patients. And if you've noticed, there is some cosmetic stuff on here, like chipped, cracked, crowded teeth. These are things that your hygienist can do to really open up that dialogue. And again, the FACS-R is a diagram that shows that there are a number of diseases that can be detected or that can lead to inflammation that can trigger other elements of disease in the body. So you all know about oral systemic connection. Your dentists out there, your trained dental professionals, Colgate. Again, we're talking about content here. We're talking about making sure that people find your business. They want to trust you. They want to know that I'm going to go there and not only get my hygiene or my health is going to be looked after, but they're the best people that are going to do my cosmetic dentistry. So this isn't just limited to it, but I want to make sure that you get that even a huge company like Colgate, who's very invested in dentists, puts out a lot of oral systemic connection information. And this slide is actually, these are links. I'm not going to click them because I'm afraid I'm going to lose the webinar Wi-Fi. But then there's also a group of dentists called the Oral Systemic Connection. They started this website, and it's just information based. It doesn't lead anywhere else, but it provides them about pregnancy and pancreatic cancer. And check it out. Just type Oral Systemic Connection and find a website that has different images around the connection to of mouth and body. So you want to put the right content out there, and this is not just limited to the health aspects of dentistry. Your content gets put out there in many different ways. Now, remember, we're talking about inbound marketing strategy, and I'm going to get clearer and clearer on what this is, but I want to be sure that we're clear about that it includes pay-per-click, which is PPC. Pay-per-click is where you're bidding on keywords for where patients are become aware of something. They start typing in keywords like braces, Surrey, implants, chipped tooth, pain. Then these keywords are the ad groups that populate above the SEO search, right? So you have those ad groups, you're bidding for those keywords, and I'm going to talk more about PPC and how you can diagnose those areas and where to spend. And then there's SEO. SEO is so important. We're going to talk a bit more about SEO later, but that is search engine optimization. This is where you have all your content out there and people are dialing in and reading your blogs, and they're funneling their way to your website organically. They're not clicking ads. They're clicking the content that Google loves for you to put out there that has a lot of authority, and that's why they put you in a certain position. So with the right SEO plan, you will appear on page one. You will be the premier person in your demographic. So I will continue to talk about that more. But these are like web pages or landing pages, and they get basic information. Do you want to do a free consultation, right? So this is someone that's kind of more down on the decision process. I'm going to talk about that more too. But we want to let you know that an inbound marketing strategy, from every time someone lands on your website, a proper inbound marketing strategy will recognize that landing and show you what their behavior is on your website visually. And I'm going to show you some diagrams of this. But what's really great about inbound is that every time they come back and they put their name or whatnot, it automatically remembers that. And anytime they want to do something else, it'll help steer them in the right direction. You can actually set rules so that it provides them with the information they're looking for. And that's only if they do the things that you say. If they click here or do there, it'll send them an email or provide them with a download or ask them more questions to get more about what they're trying to figure out. So this is how intuitive inbound marketing can be, and I'm going to get into more detail with that. So as I started this webinar, I showed you kind of a funky umbrella image, and I said when I hang in there, I'm going to show you my favorite image of all time. And for me, this is the essence of inbound marketing. You have a patient sitting there taking a selfie with her dental team, and she's like allowing dentistry back into her life as part of her wellness spectrum. Right? Sometimes dentistry is seen, if not all the time, dentistry can be seen as a secondary space. It's too cosmetic, these guys are just trying to make lots of money. But this is a person right here that's taking a snapshot of the dental team, and she's probably going to post it somewhere on Instagram. Now we have dentists out there that are taking selfies with their patients, showing off their smiles, and they're also posting them in different places. And this is the kind of content you want to put out there. You want to show them that this is fun, it's sexy, it's great to be in dentistry, it's great to have your smile, right? So this is my favorite image, and I told everybody I would show it, but I've kind of milked this image down to the bone, so I needed to come up with something new as the front page. I hope you're laughing at that as much as I am. So getting back to inbound, all right? So here we go. 93% of consumer buying starts with a Google search. Think about that. 93% of your buying power is done through a Google search. There's 7% left over there that Yahoo and Bing are picking up, or paid advertising in print and television. 93% of people are going to Google. How the heck are you going to compete with that? You have to have the right inbound strategy. You need it all in one space so that you can quantify the fact that, is this stuff working and bringing you the visits that you want to get to? So just think about that. You need the right SEO plan. If you're going to play in the PPC game, you need to know what keywords are really going to work for you so you're not overspending or bidding for something that is not worth bidding for, meaning a discount product. So if you're a note taker, this is where you're going to take some serious notes. So remember, 93% of buying has a Google search behind it before they purchase. Then you want to look at this, because whether it's an existing patient or a new patient, you need to know that everybody goes through these stages. First of all, people are aware that they have a problem. They know that their tooth is missing or it's chipped, or they're in pain, or they have crowded teeth and they want to get it done. They're sick of looking at their Facebook photos. I want to do something about it. I'm aware that I have this. I'm going to emotionally now make a choice to go online. And then they start looking into it, and they see diamond braces or implants or crowns, and they start considering things. You know how when you're sick and you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh my God, I just did a search for this, and I have the bubonic plague, and you start considering an option. So this is the same thing when you're buying something, whether it's shoes or implants, you start considering it. So when you're done with considerations, you get to the decision space, right? So you go into this awareness stage. You've narrowed it down that you have crowded teeth, and now you've figured out that I think I might be a candidate for Invisalign, or I might be a candidate for diamond braces. And then they call the practice. Your team needs to be aware of that. What are you considering? Getting down to a decision stage is tough, and marketing needs to be prepared to handle all elements of that, not just finding you people that are just ready to buy. You want to be able to know how to nurture, and that's what inbound is about. It's about figuring out where they are on the buying spectrum and then helping them make that decision. So new patients go through that funnel just like existing patients go through that funnel. So existing patients can be sitting in the chair, and remember that healthy mouth baseline that your hygienist has, they're like, oh yeah, I do have crowded teeth. I never really thought about doing something about it. Now their awareness is moving towards the consideration stage, and the hygienist goes, you know what? This is a practice that wants to enhance lives. I'm going to turn you on to our orthodontist, or I can show you a few cool things about straightening teeth, or set you up with an appointment, right? So don't think this is just for new patients coming in through your marketing. It's in all elements of your practice. That's why I was saying take some notes here. So we want to get more decisions obviously made. We want more case acceptance. That's our outcome. That's our goal. But we also want to recognize that people are going through different stages before they get there. And your inbound marketing strategy needs to be able to show you all levels of that. You need to be prepared for all of that so that you're really having the most cost-effective plan. I'm sure you've seen lots of funnels. This is my second one. It'll be my last one. But remember, inbound marketing really looks at the fact that people are strangers, okay? And then they ultimately become promoters, but there's a whole process in between, right? Just like I showed you on the last slide. They visit your website, and then they might download something if you have data capture, or they might even say they're gonna book an appointment, and then they never answer the email that your team responds to. And so they become basically a lead. I'm not really a fan of the word lead, but they become a new inquiry is what I like to say. They're inquiring about something. And then they convert. They convert from a visitor to that new inquiry, and then they also convert again really to a customer, right? So they're calling it a close in this picture that I took, but I like to say that they become a customer, okay? And the key here is that not only do they become visitors to leads or new inquiries and customers, but then they're promoting, right? So I'm going to show you how inbound marketing really helps you funnel them in, and that you know when you have lots of visitors, and that you know when they become leads, but you know why they became leads and how to quantify that and see what really did it and what's working and what's not working, okay? And then when they become customers, and then promoting, you want to have some systems and tools in place so when they do promote, they're going right to Google's reviews, or you have a referral system in place, and you have to make it easy for them. Nobody wants to work hard, especially for your business. So obviously you're going to provide them the best dentistry possibly, and they're going to walk out really happy, and they're going to tell 2 people. But what you want them to do is tell everybody, and you want to give them a way to do it and make it easy and simple. And we will show you some of those things here, right? So inbound is all about strategy. It's all about digital, but I crossed the word digital out here because you ultimately want a marketing strategy. It's not just about digital, even though digital is 99% of it here. But realistically, it's everything. And of course, I'm going to talk a little bit more about SEO moving forward. I think you guys are clear on PPC. Again, if you don't have an SEO plan, or you don't have a PPC plan, or anything unclear, you can always call me. I am happy to answer all your questions. Everything basically funnels around your website, right? Your website is the core space. I'm sure you all know that. And chat and email nurture and events happen. And I put events in here specifically because a lot of practices need to invite people. You need to register for these events. You want to see the kind of what people are interested in. This is kind of data that you want for your inbound strategy. And events are things like Invisalign days, or open houses, or check out how an implant can benefit your life day, and you talk about implants. So these things are really happening, and dental practices are doing them, and we're helping dental practices organize that, and we're using marketing strategies to bring them into the practice. So here's SEO, right? Again, I'm going to emphasize this again. If you do not have an SEO plan, you need one. It is the #1 revenue-focused strategy for your marketing, hands down. It is where the content is going. It is organic. It is how Google works. Google works on authority, and it works making sure that you're relevant, and you need to be hip, cool, and sexy so that dentistry, it gets read about by people, and we know lots of people need dentistry. Again, I was at this dental forum, and they were talking about these crazy numbers about how many people just haven't been to the dentist in a long time, or how many outstanding treatment plans are out there. So an SEO plan can actually bring these people back in to your practice. So I want you to recognize that SEO is really important. This again is search engine optimization. It's where you're searching and you're organically getting to the places that you want to be. It's what Google lives off of. SEO is collectively of everything that you have out in the world: Facebook, Twitter, Google+, social networks, everything, niched blogs, editorial sites, directories. Backlinks are very important. These are links that are placed into other community members that drive more traffic. I'm sure a lot of people know about SEO, but I wanted to just be clear that this webinar is designed to show you that wherever these things are you able to see actually the views? How many people actually viewed these blogs or Facebook posts and things like that? Can you see that? Can you quantify that and know that that content is working for you? So inbound marketing is like the opposite of interruptive, okay? Not to say that interruptive marketing is bad. So interruptive is like when you send an e-blast out or your newsletter goes out or you're watching a TV program and all of a sudden a commercial comes on. It's interrupting you from your daily day. That's not bad. What we find about as we've evolved as a marketing organization is being found is always better, right? Hey, I want to hang out with you. These are people that are tapping you on the shoulder and saying, you know, I've been reading about you and doing these things, and I want to come and just like this webinar, you wanted to come and hang. I had to interrupt you to get you here, but you decided to be on it, and I appreciate you for that. So inbound marketing is about being found and getting the content in the right places, right? So it turns your website into a magnet that pulls people towards your company by aligning your content to their interests, right? That's basically, I mean, you can go home now after reading that, right? You want a magnet that pulls people towards you. So your content is out there, it's interesting, it's effective, it's fun, it's creative, it's bringing people into your practice, it's bringing people to your website. But really, the components are here, right? You want to look at buyer personas, and as dental practices, you know these things. You know what kind of patients you have, but are you putting those buyer personas to work for you? Okay, and then is your inbound marketing collecting more data to build on more personas as well? And having those personas in your strategy will allow you to attract more people and know what content really needs to be out there, because these are the people that ultimately have accepted treatment. Again, SEO, I can't talk enough about it, but what I want to keep reminding on this webinar is that a blog and all these things that are out there, can you quantify and see it? I'm going to show you how you could do that. Another component is a CRM, and this is interesting. I would say 50% of dentists that I talk to go, what's CRM? A CRM is a client relationship management tool. Now people work with Exact or R4. That is a dental practice software system. It's like a CRM, and Exact is moving towards the marketing side and things like that. But really, does your CRM actually give you the data and the intel to help organize your website and organize all your marketing so you know how to strategically, intuitively move the patients or the new patients coming into your practice or anybody who's visiting your website, moving them along the buyer's journey the way they want to be moved along, because they're going to say, yes, I want to do that, or no, I don't want to do that. And they're going to tell you what they're interested in. So a CRM is the ability to manage emails and newsletters and plug all this stuff into that's here, like SEO, blogs, and things like that, so that you really know where the content is and how it's performing. I'm going to show you slides about that, so hang in there with me. So as we move on, I'm just kind of recapping right now. I think this is the point where everybody is logged in and anybody who's going to be here is here. And I appreciate that. Again, I just want to thank you for this holiday week. It's a Wednesday, it's 6:30. You're all home or in your offices, and I appreciate you being here. So just recapping a bit, I started this webinar for how do you get started with an inbound marketing package. Remember, you need a good vision. You need a team that is engaged. You need patients that believe in what you're trying to do. And you guys know this stuff, but is it just written down somewhere on a book or on a wall? Are we reminding our teams of what we're out for? Are we saving lives? Are we enhancing lives? Then we moved into context. Is the context of your patients and your team and yourself towards marketing, towards dentistry, what is that like, and how is that affecting your marketing? And then we looked at that the people need to be in the right places at the right times doing the right things. Then what we also want to look at is content. Remember, that's the number one thing that I believe, and most people will believe, is going to really provide you in your marketing. So you need to definitely look at content. So now we're going to get into the technology of it, and we're going to see how this content is performing in the world. So obviously going back, remember, people were typing away, Braces, Surrey, and this is what's coming up. You know, you can see the position here, the map shows up. These are the different dental practices that are positioned there. So you can see the Google changes its rules all the time. 1 minute it's in these boxes, the next minute it's not. So moving forward, this is an image of your blogs, right? So a fun, creative, sexy blog. And then you have this image here of your backlinks. And I know that your web developers and your SEO guys provide you these crazy Google Analytic numbers. And those are good numbers to have. But is it all just in one space that you can get to and it's simple to read and that you can actually project your marketing? Well, I'm going to show you that. Here we go, getting more into the technology. So what do you really need? You need emails. You have to have an email, right? Obviously, most of you all do. But why I'm highlighting email is because are these emails that are automated and that they're being sent out in response to when people visit your website, and are they personal? And I don't mean someone's tapping away and writing emails all day, all long. I'm talking about that there's again, remember, that lead person is there, that name is in the email, and they are, their personal touch is in the automation that way. Text message, I'm just highlighting some key things here. Text message is important because it's very responsive. People are responding. Ask permission. Just say, hey, how do you like to get communicated to? Email or text message? Excuse me. And then I'm going to reiterate that CRM is really, really important. And I'm going to go now into the functions of a good CRM. So this is an actual dental practices CRM. This is only a few months view. So you can see here where they've come in, they've actually hooked it up, and there's no activity because it just wasn't, you know, we had to do all the work. And then you can see the rise in visits. So this is about a half year's worth, right? So they got about 87,000 visits in 1/2 year. They got 858 contacts from those visits. And just from the visits, within a short period of time, excuse me, I'm really sorry about that, there's 30 customers. Remember those blogs? Oh, excuse me. Remember those blogs right here. How many views? This is 1 month, okay? During this month, these blogs were created, and they got views on all these blogs. And then you can see, I think this is a couple of months, where 760 published blogs got 2,926 views. That is quantifiable. Now, remember, keywords are in the SEO plan, right? Are these keywords all throughout your blogs, all throughout your website? Are they hyperlinks and are they getting places, right? This right here is not a dental practice. This is actually a physiotherapy practice. This is a dental practice, okay? I've had to manipulate this so I wasn't giving away personal information, but I'm more than happy to share who we work with privately. But moving forward, landing pages. Remember I showed you those landing pages about free consultations. What are this again is a month view. What is the conversion success on it? So you got about 40 people signed up here. You know, you got 34 views depending on when this was in the month and when it got published, and you can drop down menus and sort this data. Here you go with this is now the technology around inbound strategy. This is all in one space. This is all put in one CRM. You got your organic searches here, right? In 1 month. Referrals. Referrals are like the links that are in different places, and people are bouncing towards your site. You got social media. You got email marketing. So email marketing means we sent out an email with a link in it, or someone sent them a link and then they got to the website. So again, this is a dashboard of a website. This is just a small snapshot. Again, I didn't want to do this through the web because I think it would slow down our webinar. So here's how we get even more granular with this stuff. This is so exciting. So this person, this is a dental practice. You can see London braces and things like that. They have 20 keywords inside their CRM that are positioning at top 3. So when they type these 20 keywords, like this one's in the top 3, in Invisalign North London, it comes in position number 3. And if this is not what they're paying, this is if they want a position higher or equal to, they would have to pay £13 per click. Google is getting expensive. This is why an SEO strategy is very, very important. Pay per click is just getting more and more expensive and more competitive. You have more people trained on it. But before you go spend your money, wouldn't you want to know what right now the average mean around what people are paying per click? And you can see here where you've increased those keywords and you've decreased those keywords. So you can see what's working and what's not working. So you have 67 keywords topping in the top 10. You got 20 organic words in the 30 days. Organic is outside of the key. Key is, again, pay per click and things like that. So you can see that 1,569 organic traffic went to the site. So this is just amazing for a business owner, for a dental practice, to really know what patients are looking for. So I find that, you know, the content is important. Then you got to really be able to measure that content so you can see how it's performing, and then you can base some of your projections on it. Now, I chose this specific slide to show you that in some cases these can be expensive clicks, but we know when working with PPC it can vary from 50p all the way up to 67 pounds. I mean, we've seen some type of bids around different types of dentistry in competitive areas that can exceed well in the close to 150 pounds a click in some cases. It just depends on what you're trying to compete for. So this is the last part of the dashboard, and remember, I was talking about earlier how when you get a visitor on the website and you want to kind of know what they're interested in, what they're doing, this CRM, this inbound marketing strategy provides exactly what they're doing. So you can see someone came in from an organic search, right? So the keyword probably is just because it wasn't put into the CRM, or it's unknown because it wasn't, you have to label it, right? But it's not as important. As you can see, you'll see that they went to Damon Braces. So you know exactly what they're interested in, right? So again, I'm sorry, these black lines are just to cover up confidentiality. And then they actually filled out the contact form, and I picked this one specifically in May 2017 because it's so relevant to today. And this is how fast this person's moving. They landed on the website, they went to these different areas, and then you'll see different behavior. And what's really great is you can make this so intuitive that it sends emails. If they do 5 different things, because remember, they're just in the awareness stage. They're just trying to figure out, but it looks like they're considering Invisalign or Damon Braces, and they filled out the form, and they actually went back and forth to it more than one time. So you actually, as a business, as a dental team, as somebody wants to know exactly the behavior of how things are working for you in your marketing and where people are on the buyer's journey, this is such crucial information. So that's really it, right? So now you're like, what do I do? Is anybody really interested in what they would like to do? And I'm just going to give it a second, because what I want to do is just talk about what are next steps? How do I really know that my marketing's working for me? How do I know that I get the best inbound strategy? So I'm going to go ahead and start to explain that. I can't see any questions coming in, so I apologize. If you have some questions, you can type them in, but it's going to be a very delayed response for me. And I'm going to also share my information, and most of you know who I am because you can email me, but I would love to hear from you. I'd love to get your questions. But I'm going to share with you really the next steps here. And what we found as I started this webinar is I met with a group of dentists in a course that I taught, and I found out that only one practice out of the whole group operated from a vision. And I realized there were probably other missing components in people's marketing plans. And you can see right here it says marketing and conversion audit. An audit, I know, is kind of a funky word. It's like tax audit or whatnot, but what it provides are key things. And we do this with every practice that we want to really make sure that your marketing is working really well. What we look at is every marketing channel that you have, right? So whether it's Facebook or it's conversions on your website or it's telephone calls, whatever that's happening, we want to make sure that we know it exists, and we want to be able to make sure that you can measure it. Now, I don't mean that the same kind of Google Analytics you're already getting or your Facebook Analytics where someone landed on a landing page and filled it out. That's a conversion that you can get very quickly. We want to know that the full process, how did they get to there, what got them to convert into that inquiry, and then what actually got them to convert into a patient. And we want to look at the true conversion, which is becoming a patient. And we want to make sure that you have places, systems and measurement tools in place so that you can quantify that and you can see what's working, what's not working. So we want to put all of it in one space and really make sure that, hey, this is the performance of it. But we also want to look at your vision as well, right? So not only are we looking at conversions, your marketing channels, and the performance of that, and making sure that you can measure it, we want to also make sure that your vision, purpose, and values is alive, because that's what's really also going to help you up-level more case acceptance, more marketing working for you. That's going to get more team buy-in, patients attracting to your practice. It's going to get you waking up every morning going, you know what, I love saving lives, I love enhancing lives, I can't wait to go to work on Monday, we're going to do more, and we're going to put a system in place. And so if you have a vision now and it's not working for you, we want to take the opportunity to make sure that you can relive that, revise it, and get everybody engaged in it. And if you don't have one at all, it's not that hard to create. We can help you do that. The next thing we want to look at during this audit is actually what your KPIs are. So as you saw in the beginning of this, one of the visions that I put was to enhance 20,000 lives by 2020, right? If it's KPI, we got to look at how your marketing is performing now and come up with a realistic plan and reverse engineer how to get there. Remember, the moon, we got to get there. NASA reversed engineer a plan to get a man to the moon. We want to do the same thing with your marketing. We will want to look at your KPIs and reverse engineer a plan so that you can actually fulfill your ambitions. And as 7 Connections, our vision is to bring clarity of your marketing and make sure that your ambitions of your practice, your life, is happening through your marketing. We want to make sure that your business is performing the way it's supposed to perform. We're a group of dental consultants and coaches that really know a lot about marketing, and we know a lot about the business of dentistry. So we want to make sure that the KPIs are there and that your marketing can deliver that. When we do this audit, we also want you to walk away with a 6-month plan. Why 6 months? Because in 6 months you're going to say, I want more, or I want to change something. So you kind of get a 12-month plan, but in 6 months we want to make sure we're not really paying attention to all the things that need to be paid attention to. Are we hitting our goals? Do we need to make adjustments? But that 6-month plan is like a treatment plan for your patients, right? It's exactly what you need to do to fulfill your ambitions, to fulfill your KPIs. And also, the byproduct is making sure that your vision is pumping in your practice and that you know all your channels are performing the way you want them to perform. So these two right here are very specific because a lot of people don't recognize that every interaction with emails and phone calls are marketing. We want to just be sure, if you have a call tracker, we're listening to those. If you want to put one in place, we'll help you put one in place. This just can help have your team perform the best, right? So we want to be sure that whatever templates you're using or scripts you're using are great and they're providing you the best results. So don't think we're leaving those parts out. Now, if you were to do a marketing and conversion audit with us, not only do you get all these things, but we also want to let you know that we would put in a training session, a 3-hour training session that helps make clarity to your team of marketing that is important. Meaning, what are the functions of your marketing plan that they really need to know so that it performs the best? Also, if there's a conversion issue, we will support you in helping that training in conversion. Typically, a training is a one-off place when you're doing this audit, but it doesn't mean that you can't have more training moving forward. So I wanted to explain to you how we get people to that inbound strategy. We want to make sure that your marketing is performing, your vision's living, your KPIs are set, you have a true plan, your emails and phone scripts are not excluded here, and that your team has been trained up on all the things needed. So moving forward, people are like, how much does it cost? And I hate the word cost. Always use the word investment, because if you were to walk away, your patient were to walk away thinking they just had a big cost, you know your patients are walking away with an investment. So typically when we do a marketing review, it's £2,400. But anybody who's on this website, on this webinar, can take an advantage of an offer. We want to also provide you the offer of $1,250. Why we're giving it as an offer? Because we know that there's a lot of practices out there that don't have these things. And we know if you get this, you'll take that plan and move it forward. And we know that you'll have a better practice, you'll be enhancing more lives, you'll be providing more dentistry for people. So typically this all includes VAT, it includes the training, it includes your vision relived. To learn more about this offer, give me a call or shoot me an email. Call me right now. I'm on my phone, I'm sitting here, I'm actually in the airport, believe it or not, doing a webinar because I'm on my way to meet with a new client of ours, and I would love to talk to you about what you're doing, what your goals are. I love chatting about this stuff. I'm very passionate about dentistry. I know it can do a lot of good things for people. So please email me. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar. I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm gonna take it out and go to the webinar itself and see where you guys are. Oh, this probably looks really weird. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody want to chat? Does anybody want to schedule a call? Sorry if it looks really weird, but I'm here. I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 more minutes. I know I took an hour of your time, but thank you very much. Does anybody have anything they want to ask or say? I'm right here. I can actually see the chat now. Doesn't look like there's any questions. Yeah, so Andrew's asking, so you review what we have and you could show us how it's performing. Yeah, it's not just how it's performing. It's not just how to improve it. It's also how to effectively measure it, right? So improvements are great, but a lot of people want like these quantum leaps. They don't just want 1 or 2 more patients coming in. They want quantum jumps. So it is improvement. It's also how to measure it and then how to keep that momentum going with a plan. So that audit is not just performance review. It's not me just grabbing a bunch of reports and going through them with you. I'm going to actually show you with my team where the best conversions are happening, not just through the marketing, but through in the practice. So I hope that answers your question. If you could just throw me a yes, and then also we'll provide you with training as well in the audit. Any more questions out there? Thank you, Andrew, again. Sorry, I didn't thank you for that. Was there any more questions, guys? Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate that. Let me know the answer questions. I'm sorry my screen is kind of funky. I think I could go like this. Oh, there we go. And then I could, if you guys want to see my ugly mug, I could show you that. Is there any more questions? I'm here to answer them. I'm here for you guys. Doesn't look like there's any questions coming in. I really want to, again, thank you guys very much for participating with me. You have my information. I'll put it back up. Thank you, Ruth. Ruth, was this valuable for you? Oh, thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. I would love to chat with you and figure out if you need anything moving forward. Ruth, did this work? Was this valuable for you? I'm going to sign out, guys. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you guys again on the next webinar. Again, contact me with an email. I'll be sure to email you all too as well to answer any more questions. Yes, Ruth, thank you so much. It's still early days for me to use the services, but planning ahead was valuable. Great. Thanks, Ruth. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week.